would love if we could start with a supported heart opener. A Supta Baddha Konasana might be familiar for some of you. So this can be with bed pillows. If you have a yoga bolster, that's great. You can also fold up some blankets or towels. I'm going to take a block. And so this is also especially great if there's any congestion or anything going on in the head this time of year. It's actually the first day of a new year as we're practicing together this new calendar year, but we're kind of right in the middle of the lunar cycle. So this is just a nice supported grounding practice. I'm going to lay over the bolster and then I'm going to take a blanket and I'm going to open it up. So bring my soles of my feet together. And I'm going to just roll up the blanket and put it over the top of my feet and then pull it underneath. But you can also just put a couple of pillows under each leg. And so you don't have to do Baddha Konasana. I love when I recline to do bound angle because it's just so nice to open the hips. It helps to open the pelvis. And then we lay back and we get into the heart and the chest. And so this is just such a grounding pose, but at the same time, it's really receptive. And because it is the first day of a new year, and in our culture, this is when the calendar changes. This is our very much our collective sort of reset button. Although, astronomically, astrologically, we're, like I said, kind of right in the middle of a cycle right now. We're in the waning cycle. We're heading towards the new moon, but both the sun and the moon are in earth signs right now. So for the first couple of days of this new year, we have double earth, and earth is always about the body, the structure, the digestion, the bones, the foundation, the physical, material, tangible energy. And then halfway through this week, we move into an air sign, we move into sort of harmonizing, balancing, and then we head into a water earth energy for the weekend, really allowing us to process maybe whatever emotions have come up so far this lunar cycle. We are just coming out of the holidays. I always sort of think that HOLIDAZE, holidays. And so really the moon today, this moon day, is giving us the opportunity to slow down and ground and digest and rest and sort of gather ourselves. So that if you are kind of moving into this new year energy, we're doing it sort of in alignment with what is also happening as sort of energetically, elementally, and astrologically. And so we are going to be kind of called to start to move forward, but really this next week and a half is all about the digestion and processing. And then at the new moon on the 11th, we really feel more of that go energy. So for now, kind of letting yourself settle into a supported, open, grounded space. Make sure you are warm and comfortable. And let's take a couple good sighs. So inhaling through the nose. And then open mouth and let it go. And again, deep breath in. And a sigh or a hum. One more big inhale. And then exhale, open mouth. And then you can allow your breath to move in and out through the nose, but invite it to travel through the belly, the lungs, the throat, sort of moving through the central channel, also the digestive system, beginning in the mouth, moving through the esophagus to the stomach, into the intestines and the colon. So the moon is in the mutable earth sign, which rules digestion and co-regulates the nervous system. And then the sun is in the cardinal earth energy, which is about the bones, the foundation, the structure. So we have the cardinal earth and the mutable earth. So the earth that sort of sets the season, and then the earth that dissolves the season. So kind of like two sides of the earth element, sort of establishing and then dissolving. And so just maybe noticing as you begin to breathe, as the breath travels through the belly, the lungs, lungs, the mouth, just noticing any physical sensation, maybe really arriving in your physical space, the room you're in, maybe letting your hands for a moment touch the earth and just taking in texture, sensation, really grounding yourself in this moment. Feeling your feet and your legs, your knees and your thighs, so these strong earth energy of the body, the legs, the feet, the tailbone, just for a few breaths, maybe just scanning through the toes and the feet and the ankles, moving through the bones and the muscles of the leg and the knee and the thighs, and how they plug right into the hips, into the pelvis, and the pelvis connecting it to the spine, and the spine plugging into the ribs that wrap around and then connect up into the shoulders, down through the arms and the hands and the fingers, back up through the spine, into the neck, into the skull. And letting your skull soften, your eyes settle deeper into your skull, your mouth, your tongue relax. Just for a moment, dropping into these skeletal structure. It's really important this time of year in this cardinal earth season that we tend to the bones. We tune into the bones. This is the cycle of bones and roots and seeds, and we'll talk about that as we get closer to the new moon. So next week we'll be tuning in a little bit more to that. Just again, letting yourself ground by feeling the physical space that you're in, and also the physical substance that holds you all the way down to the bones, all the curves of the skull, the spine, the ribs, the arms, the hands, the pelvis, the legs, the feet. Just letting your breath continue to travel through, scanning through this physical body, the Anna Maya Kosha, the food body, the physical realm, the Muladhara chakra, the root. We ground into this new year with all of this earth energy available, which can make us very tired. Lethargy, it can be hard to get motivated, which might feel kind of very un-new year, but reminding ourselves that our new year is sort of a human-made calendar, and that if we look to the nature-made calendar, we are in the middle of this cycle. We are very much in the midst of the winter energy in the northern hemisphere, pretty much until February. We don't come out of winter until we enter the beginning of February. And so this month is still very much grounding and resting and digesting. And it is good to start making sort of tangible plans, because we are going to start moving forward. But for right now, just settling the bones, scanning the body and the space, just letting the breath move. For this time, our Moon Day practice, our Moon Day New Year practice today, there's nowhere to go, there's nothing to do. We are in the earth, in the waning moon, in the sun. Just that sun and moon reflecting to us this physical support. How can you support your bones, your foundation, your physical world? And just take a few more deep breaths here. Just honoring your body, your bones, the earth, the space that you're in today. You could definitely stay here longer if you are comfortable and cozy and you basically want to be here for the rest of the practice. You're welcome to. Otherwise, take a deep, deep breath in, fill up, exhale out with the sigh. Press your palms down if they're not down on the earth already. Just make that conscious contact and then let your head gently shift to one side. And just breathe. And then roll it to the other. And just do that a couple more times, just starting to open up the neck, pressing your hands into the earth, softening your jaw. Just noticing again the movement of the skull and the spine. And then bring the head back to center, bend your knees. And then if there's any support under your legs, you can kind of move that out of the way. And then I want us to stay on the back. So depending on how you're set up, I just kind of came and moved my body down. And then I'm going to just kind of shift this off to the side a little bit. So in the least effortful way, in the most effortless way you can, see if you can just make that transition onto your back. So just sliding things off. I have a little more space than usual right now. So we're going to enjoy that. And just for a moment, extend the body out. And this also just helps us to make sure that there's nothing too close to us. We have that peripheral freedom. So just opening the body, lengthening, stretching, and then gather your knees in. So that opposite movement from that big extension, feeling the whole body, curl it in, squeeze the knees, and really give yourself a nice hug, as tight as it's comfortable for you. And then maybe massage the sacrum here, let your head roll a little bit side to side, open and close the jaw. And then take another inhale and then stretch everything out. And again, just how much can you reach through your fingers and your toes, maybe roll out your wrists and your ankles, feeling into that mobility through the wrists and ankles. Just stretching. You can even open the arms and legs a little bit wider if you have the space. Otherwise, just keep them kind of straight up and down. Take another breath. On the exhale, hug the knees back in. And again, just as much of a squeeze as feels available for you, really squeezing, lengthen the tailbone, try to keep the back of the skull and the tailbone down, massaging the belly. Then one more time on the inhale, everything extends out. Reach up, lengthen, take a full breath, stretch. And then exhale, hug it in. So kind of like, you're getting ready to get up and going, and then you change your mind and you hug everything back in. That's really kind of the energy this next week and a half as you move towards the new moon. It's kind of like, okay, take one step out, okay, go back into bed. But slowly but surely we will get out. And just take another breath, and then take your feet to the mat. Take them as wide as the mat. So knees are bent, feet are as wide as the mat. And then you can open your arms out to the sides and to goalposts, or you can bring the arms up, whatever feels more comfortable. But we do want the head and the shoulders down, feet wide. Let's just start to windshield wipe the legs. So just letting this move with the breath. Inhale. And exhale. And the head can stay neutral, or you can let your head slowly roll the opposite direction of the knees. And that's going to kind of get that movement between the low back and the upper spine. And just breathing. And I just love windshield wiper. It's just really great for the hips. And then of course that release into the low back. Again, maybe you're moving your head, maybe not, that's okay. And just keep the breath circulating through the body, slow and steady. And then whatever side your knees fall to, let them fall, and your head might roll the opposite direction. And they can just stay like this, or the bottom foot can stack the top leg. So if your knees are over to the right foot will rest on the left thigh, and then the opposite if they were to the left. And sometimes that feels really good. It kind of releases the quad a little bit. Other times it might not feel good on your knee. You can also put like a pillow or something under the right leg. Just take a few full breaths here, flex the feet just a little bit, get some energy out through the feet. Soften the jaw. Inhale. And exhale. And release that right foot or whatever foot is stacked. And again, just a few times, let the legs sort of rock side to side. And just noticing as you kind of massage the tailbone or the sacrum, like what's going on in that structure, in the body, in the low body. A lot of times the holidays, we're kind of constantly going and we're kind of focused on what's happening around us. We don't want to miss out on moments with our family or where we are. We kind of then forget to sort of be in our body, let the legs settle the opposite direction. Feet nice and wide, maybe stacking that bottom foot, shoulders roll down. And that's what a really interesting thing about the holidays, especially if you've got family in town or you're traveling or a lot of stuff going on. It's like you're trying so hard to be present with everything else that you kind of like aren't necessarily checking in with you or doing the things that you normally do. And it makes sense because we want to really enjoy our family or our visitors or the special events. And so this double earth waning moon is really kind of get back into your body, into your bones, into your space, and then move into this new year, kind of with that more grounded, embodied space. Another big breath in and out. Slide the leg off, bring the knees back up. And for a moment, just bend your knees, place your feet down on the mat. We'll do a little bit of energy in the upper body. So place your thumbs pointing down, so your arms are up overhead, your thumbs are pointing down. As you inhale, you're going to bring your arms straight up and down, and then you'll bring them back up and over. So as you start to bring them up and over, plug the shoulders, so feel the bone, right? So feel the bone of your shoulder blades pressing into the mat. So we're not lifting the shoulder heads, we're not lifting through the shoulder blades. We're just getting a little bit of mobility here through the arms, through the shoulders. So roll the shoulders down and you're reaching up and over. And if for any reason you can't get all the way up or over, that's fine. Just stay within your mobility today. Roll the shoulders down, just a few more of these, really nice for the upper back. And again, we're just kind of getting into the bones. And we'll have some air energy middle of this week, so getting into the upper body. And then bring the arms straight up, so the fingers are pointing up. And then as you inhale, you're going to open the arms wide, and then bring them back just to that straight up position. And again, same thing. So feel the shoulders down, feel the shoulder blades down. Keep plugging them down. So really connecting the bone into the earth. And again, if at any point this is too much, just stay with your mobility. And then bring the arms straight up again. And then you're going to take your arms into goalposts on the mat. So your elbows are bent, and keeping everything on the mat, you're going to stretch the arms straight and then bend. So you're sliding your arms straight, keeping them on the mat, in contact with the mat, and then returning to goalposts. So it's kind of like when we inhale the arms up overhead and then we bend the elbows as it comes down. We're just really, really trying to keep everything on the mat. Really press everything into the mat. And one more. And then keep that goalpost position. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale out the mouth and hug your right knee in. So release the arms now and just focus on that right leg. Squeeze. So as much as you can squeeze, maybe rock here a little bit. So hugging into the digestive organs here. And then bring your hands behind the right thigh and then inhale, extend, exhale, bend. And then just follow your breath. As you inhale, you can alternate pointing and flexing through that right leg. And you want to think about kind of pressing your hamstrings, the back of the thigh into the hands. So getting a little resistance. And you'll notice when you extend and point or flex, you'll feel a little bit of different sensation with the muscles in the front of the leg and the back of the leg. And just breathing. And then hold the leg straight and just point and flex. It's okay to have a bend in the knee. That's fine too. And then roll out the ankle one way and the other. And then flex. Oh, and then hug. Give it a sweet little hug. And then release the right leg. Hug the left knee in. And again, just give it a really, really tight squeeze. Rock. Breathing here. Massaging into that hip joint. And then hands behind the thigh. And again, just start to feel into this leg as you just follow your breath. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. Alternating or playing with that point and flex. Head and shoulders and sacrum are down. And just enjoying the floor. I love that there's so much yoga we can do on the floor. Yoga, really physical yoga, asana yoga, hatha yoga really can be done, a full practice can be done on the floor. You don't have to get up at all. I know we've done that. Hold and just point and flex. We'll do a little bit of getting up today, but not too much. Roll out one way and the other. This is also good for the lymphatic system. And then squeeze. And then place the both feet down so feet are hip width distance apart, arms down by your sides. Press down through your heels, tuck and lift up into bridge. And just let it be a slow bridge, lift and lower. So just kind of getting that full spinal. So we kind of started with that lower spine and then into the upper back and then the middle. And now kind of getting the whole spine here. So press into the feet, those strong bones of the feet, really articulating through. And then we're gonna play with adding a little arm. So as you inhale, lift your left arm up. As you lift your hips, roll your head to the right. And then head comes back, lower everything down. And then lift the hips, right arm comes up, look over to the left. And then roll down. So if that gets to be too confusing, you can just keep lifting and lowering. But we're basically alternating arms, and whatever arm that comes up, you roll your head to the right. So this is a very gentle kind of Vinyasa movement that, again, we're getting that full spine, so that cardinal earth working with the bones. But just take your time. This is a slow, controlled movement, very aware of the whole body here. And if you are doing the arm work, go ahead and do one more to each side. And then you'll lower, and then we'll come up into our bridge and hold. And just take a few breaths. So it doesn't have to be a high bridge. Keep drawing the knees towards each other, pressing into the heels. Take a breath. And then exhale, roll. And lengthen through the spine, and then tuck and roll up. And you can stay just like this, or you'll inhale, lift the arms and hold here. Back of the hands down, lifting up through the hips. Shoulders are down, heels are down, hug the knees in, big breath in. Keep the arms up if they're there. Exhale, roll down through the upper back. And then lower your arms. Good. Hug the knees in. Hug the knees in. Take a big breath. Exhale out the mouth. Take your hands behind your thighs, and you can either just rock side to side, or you're going to take the chin and just start to rock a little bit along the spine. So we're not trying to go too fast. We're not trying to build too much momentum. Just that massage along the spine. You can just stay side to side. And then bring yourself up to a comfortable seat. Find your comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. And of course, you can always sit up in a chair, just sitting up nice and tall. Lengthen your spine. Take a hand to your heart, a hand to your belly, and just arriving in your body. We'll tone our lunar mantra here, Om Chandraya Namaha, our first lunar practice of this new year. We turn to the wisdom of this waning earth moon to guide us into this new year. You can listen or hum or join with me. Deep breath in. Om Chandraya Namaha. Release your hands and press your fingertips into the mat, and then just let your head roll side to side. Pressing the fingertips down. Relax the shoulders and the face. Softening the jaw. And again, whatever side your head lands on, pause there, and then just keep pressing your fingertips down, especially the opposite hand. Not forcing. And then turn the chin towards the shoulder. Keep pressing the fingertips down. And then draw the chin across the chest. Opposite ear comes down. Press down through your fingertips, especially the opposite fingers. Breathing here. And then turn your chin towards your chest. Inhale, press down through the fingertips. Exhale, drop the chin to the chest. And then roll the head up. And then sweep the left arm up. Stretch it overhead. You can stay like this or take that left arm, sweep it up and hook it behind you. Turning the gaze down to the waning moon. The moon hides their face. Settle into your thighs. Breathe into your side body. And then roll it on up. Left hand steps out to the left, right arm up and over. Stay here or sweep that arm up and behind, and then turn the gaze down. Breathe here. Give your toes a little wiggle as you breathe into the side body. And then draw yourself up. And just for a moment, walk your hands forward. So just feeling a little bit of the hips as we get into this weekend. We'll have that intense water energy. So just feeling a little bit into the hips, into the low back. You might rock a little, soften the jaw. And just noticing, right, what's going on in this body of yours, what's happening in your bones and your muscles. And then bring yourself up, take the hands behind you and just lift through the chest. Chin can stay tucked, open the throat, just opening up through the front of the lungs and the heart. Exhale, release. Switch the cross of the legs if you're cross-legged. Otherwise, please just make sure your seat is still comfortable. And then holding the shins, let's find some cat-cow. So roll your chest open, open your throat into cow, and then around and tuck and arch. Really leaning back into cat. And just again, find that slow, grounded articulation. So the sit bones are connected to the earth or the chair. Little flex through the feet or wiggle through the toes. And just noticing where the breath catches or where there's a little bit of tension in that flow. So just helping to, again, that dissolving energy of earth with that creating energy of earth. The cardinal earth sort of sets the tone for the season, and the mutable earth dissolves it. And this kind of movement's so great for both the physical structure of the bones, the muscles, but also, again, for that nervous system, digestive system movement. It's all part of it. It's just a few more. And just enjoy this body moving. It's just like, wow, another year. And this year marks 20 years that I've been teaching yoga. I did my teacher training in 2004. So I was thinking about that today, being 2024, and 20 years of teaching this year. Quite a milestone. 21 years of practicing this month. January was when I started doing yoga, back when I was 19 at community college. 21 years ago, 21 January, 21, yeah, Januaries ago. And so I do like the calendar shift because we all have, that's how we've lived by. Our memories are sort of created by this calendar year. Hold that cat position, round and stretch back. So really hold on to the ankles or the legs, almost like if you round it anymore, you'd roll onto your back. Just really like tuck and hold that space, just getting the back of the lungs now, the kidneys, the spine. Oh, and then roll it back up. Just give yourself a little wiggle here up at the top, and then lengthen up out of the pelvis, and then left hand behind you, right hand to the left knee. And looking towards the left shoulder if that's comfortable. If not, the head can move to the right. Sometimes it can be good to kind of move in and out, just to feel that. So all these simple movements, spinal movements, just opening, grounding, sort of reconnecting here. Inhale. Exhale, unwind. Take another inhale, wiggle a little bit, lengthen up out of the pelvis. And then right hand behind you, left hand to the right knee, gaze shifting to the right or rolling it towards the left. Just, feeling into the body, that structure, giving the body that space to digest. Just so important. Digestion has so much to do with quality of life. Take another inhale. And exhale, release, and just take your hands and just give yourself a little shake. So very nice for the nervous system. Inhale. Then as you exhale, bring the hands out in front of you, lift up, and then again, just walking forward. So stretching the other hip if the opposite leg is in front, or just again, coming into a forward fold. And just being in the hips and the back, in that more introspective space that the waning cycle, the forward fold, all sort of support. I also was thinking that today also marks 4 years that I've been fully teaching on Zoom, on my own Zoom, which is pretty amazing too, that we're still here. Inhale, exhale. And then round it up, take the hands behind you, do that, just that little counter stretch. It'll be so nice. It doesn't have to be a big arch, just lifting up and opening. And then coming back, and then keep your hands behind you as you once again bend your knees. And then again, just find that windshield wiper movement. And you can always sit up against the wall if this is too much to do on your hands, or you can come back onto your back and just do the windshield wiper again. Take another big breath. And then bring both knees up as wide as the mat. Bring your hands forward, grab the legs. So you're it's kind of a variation of squat, holding on to the ankles. Pull yourself up, lift through the spine. So press down through the foot. So you should be able to lift your toes and really still pressing through the big toe ball mound, the heel. Lift up, and then you can also bring the hands towards the heart. I did a big hike yesterday, and I just felt that in my legs when I moved my arms. Try to keep pressing into the feet, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, give your head a little shake. Big breath in and out. Shift yourself back, bring the soles of the feet together and just find a little flutter here. Take a big breath in through the nose. Slow exhale out the mouth. Again, deep breath in. One more inhale. And then that slow exhale. Good. Draw the legs in. And then we're going to shift the body to tabletop just briefly, but stay seated if for any reason this isn't available for you. Spread the fingers, tuck the toes. So if you're going to stay seated, you'll just continue to work through cat-cow. Otherwise, we're going to just build on my favorite sort of cat-cow, child's pose, down dog series here, because it just kind of gets everything in. So you can again start with cat and cow. And that movement. And then the next shape we'll bring in helps to lengthen the exhale. So as you round through cat, you'll push everything back into child's pose. And then you'll bring it back up into cow. And arch and lift. And then tuck and round and press. And this is one of my favorite movements, especially on those days where I know it's important to move every day. Even just a little bit. This is one of those movements that I'll do before bed because it feels good. Now, if you want a little more, as you come through cow, you'll lift up into that down dog. And you can keep the knees bent here, and then you'll just continue to add on through that. So you'll inhale through cow, exhale through a down dog, inhale into a cat, and then round back. Or again, just stay seated with cat-cow. If you're seated, you could also do more of a spiral movement, just for a little something different. But I always just feel like in this sequence on all fours, it's just like you feel all the skeleton, right? Like you really feel the hands and the feet and the arms and the legs. So when I'm working with strong earth energy, especially the cardinal earth, just like such a functional movement. You can start to extend it out. You might, like I just took a couple breaths in down dog and stretched out the legs. You can pause in child's pose. Or just whatever feels good. The next couple of moments here, we're just in that sort of functional, structural movement. It's kind of opening everything up. And there can still be movement. Like I said, a lot of times in down dog, I like to wiggle and rock. In child's pose, I roll around too. And see if you can settle towards a neutral spine. We're gonna just do a little bit of balance. Balance is very important for structural integrity. So if you can't be comfortable on tabletop, you can come to standing for this, and you'll just bend the knee up and the arm up. But we'll slowly shift the weight and extend the right leg up. And you can stay just like that, flex the foot, or you can lift the left arm. So if you're standing, you'll actually just bend your right knee into your chest, and then maybe reach the left arm up. And just notice what happens here as you settle, try to square everything off. You can always have the toes on the earth and the fingertips on the earth. That's a modification here too. Ribs in, everything in. Take a deep breath. And then release. Give it a little shake. Switching sides, so left leg first. Maybe lifting the leg hip height, and then if you are comfortable, right arm comes up. Or if you're standing, left knee to the chest, right arm up. And just breathe. So try to hug towards the center, lengthen through the spine. Soft gaze at something not moving. Pull the belly and the ribs in. Take another breath. And then release. Good, rock it out. And then extend that right leg out on the mat, tuck the toes and push back through the heel. And if you are standing, you'll extend the right leg and pull the toes up this way. Very similar stretch. Get a little bit more into the calf if you're on all fours. You can also come onto your forearms. So if you're ever on all fours and your wrists and shoulders get tired, just breathe into the calf. And then release and switch. There's a lot of meridian points in the legs as well for detoxification and digestion. Another breath in. Release, and then either push back into child's pose or a down dog, or if you're standing, you can take a forward fold. And also, if you would rather take an uttanasana as well, so even if you're comfortable in child's pose or down dog, but you'd rather take this forward fold, definitely come up to do that. Just listening for your energy level, your body's connection level right now. So Uttanasana, Adho Mukha Svanasana, or Balasana, or you can even spend a breath in all three. Sometimes I'll take a moment and Uttanasana, and then down dog, and then come into child's pose. Otherwise, just take a nice long hold in one of them. And you can add any movement that feels good. Just listening to your body, your breath, your bones. Creating that space to digest, to recalibrate, to root. And start to feel into your exhalation. Just wherever you are, child's pose, down dog, or forward fold, just start to feel a little bit more into your exhale. That is the part of the breath we align with the waning cycle. So that we've had some time in the body, just feeling a little bit more into that longer exhale. And very gently bringing yourself back up to your seat for wide legs. So you can sit up on a blanket or a pillow if you feel like your pelvis is rocking. You can also do this against the wall. So toes pointing up, knees soft, spine long. Just take a moment. You can always do this standing too. For any reason it feels more accessible. You have a little more mobility when you're standing. Point the toes up, lengthen the spine. We're gonna come into the side body one more time. So left arm down the left leg. And again, just as before, you can reach that right arm up and over, or you'll sweep it behind you and turn the gaze down. Wiggle the toes, a little flex to the feet. Just revisiting that side bend. As in this pose, I'll bend my bottom arm and let it kind of catch the head. We do that a lot in yin. Just a little head rest, a little built-in head rest there. As you open up, just a few more breaths into the side body. Soften the face, letting everything soften back into the skull. Relaxing the throat, down that esophagus. And then slowly bring it up. Oh, and right arm down. That left arm can sweep up and over, or hook behind. Maybe looking down, maybe that other arm bends. Just be careful of the knee. Try to dig the elbow directly on the knee. Toes facing up. Jaw soft. Relax the face. And I think they're really nice to open up the side body. We don't realize how tight all these little muscles along the ribs get. Very important movement. This time when you're ready, you'll fold forward. So hands under the shoulders. You can also grab props. Rest on your props, rest the forehead down, or stack things up. And just let your elbows rest. And just again, come back to a long exhale. Lengthening through the spine. Allowing the bones the opportunity to decompress. A lot of times people will start doing yoga, or they'll come back to yoga and they'll be like, oh, I've grown, or my doctor said I've grown. It's just because we're decompressing through the bones, we're decompressing through the body. And it's so good to move the spine and just let everything settle back into the earth. Again, a few more breaths, really tune into that long exhale. Next breath in, roll yourself up. Move any props and just kind of guide the legs in, soft knees. Bend the right leg, give it a nice hug. Sit up tall and take the right hand behind you, and then just keep that left hand on the right knee or wrap for a tighter twist. Again, look towards the right or keep your gaze centered. Breathe into that twist. Really breathe down into the belly. Inhale. And exhale, unwind, stretch the right leg out, give your legs a little rock, and then bend the left knee, draw that leg in, give it a nice hug here. And then the left hand behind you and the right hand can stay on the knee, or it can wrap or hook as you look to the left, or just keep your gaze forward. Are you squeezing that thigh in towards the belly, long spine. Inhale. Exhale, unwind. Bend both knees, feet hip width distance apart. Bring the hands behind you, and then again, you can just roll your chest up here. Otherwise, spread the fingers, press the palms, and then lift the hips into reverse table, opening the chest, softening the jaw. Big, big inhale. Exhale, release wherever you are. Wrap your arms around your legs. Relax your forehead towards your knees. Big, big breath in and out. Roll it on up and consider where you want to spend the next few minutes of the practice. We got about 4 or 5 minutes, about 5 minutes. So you can roll onto your back for Shavasana. You can take your legs up the wall, which is probably where I will go for the last couple minutes. You can also leave the video if you feel like you want a longer Shavasana, and I definitely always recommend a longer Shavasana. Actually thought I had a couple more minutes, but I guess I got excited there in those last couple poses. So whatever you want to do, just make sure you at least give yourself a few minutes. So if you take the legs up the wall, up the bed, up the chair, that inversion is just really powerful for the nervous system, the digestive system, but also just laying on the earth with support is equally powerful. So it's just whatever feels right tonight or whenever you're practicing. Take some breaths. Then again, just notice the earth underneath your body. Notice the earth in your body. Maybe let your hands rest on your belly or on the floor. Really feeling into that connection. Notice if it's any different now than when we first started the practice. If you feel a little more embodied, a little more grounded, a little more present. It can be hard to come back in after holidays or just kind of being in a different schedule, as many people are right now. And this double earth energy can make it really easy to stay in your pajamas all day, which is kind of what I've done. But then, we did get onto the mat and moved and breathed. And just let yourself settle into the earth. Letting go. Just a couple more minutes. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. Earth around you and within you. And that waning moon. So if you feel like you've just settled into the bones, into the body, you are welcome to stay here. But I do like to honor the time frame of this practice, so you can begin to connect back to the breath. Let yourself move slow and steady. Stay close to the earth as you deepen the breath or bring in any movement. You might just roll into fetal pose and pause there. And if you do feel inclined to bring yourself up to sit, you might let your hands once again rest at your heart and your belly. Feel yourself on the earth, of the earth, under the earth moon, the earth, the sun. And we'll close the practice with our 3 ohms. First ohm, really honoring yourself as we step into this new calendar year. This second ohm we offer to those suffering, to those who need it. And our third ohm we offer in gratitude to our Mother Earth, our Grandmother Moon. And you can always just listen or hum or join when you're ready. Om. 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 Your next inhale, draw the hands to the heart, rub the palms. Exhale, left hand to the left, palm up, right hand to the right, palm down, connecting our first moon circle of this new year. Big, big breath in, lift up through the heart. Exhale, hands to the earth. We ground, we bow. Many blessings. Om Chandraya Namaha. Happy New Year. And I hope you have a great week and hope to see you soon. Thank you.